I treat everybody respectfully, and if he's gonna come out saying different things here, just trying to dig out a fight, I don't think that's the way to do it. But everybody's got a different way of doing things, so that's just not my way. I'm here respectful of everyone, really.
Essa outra chegou na oportunidade gigantesca. Vou nocautear esse cara. Essa é real.
He's gonna knock this guy out.
Sí. Sí.
Algo que Islam no hizo y tiene que pagar el precio por Islam. La verdad, me da mucha pena por Charles, pero bueno, al final del día es mi trabajo.
Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira are clashing verbally ahead of their upcoming showdown, with both fighters expressing clear intentions to dominate once they step into the cage. Sharing his thoughts on the potential showdown between Charles Oliveira and Ilia Topuria, Renato Moicano remarked that Oliveira has more charisma and a larger fan following than Topuria. He also emphasized that Charles possesses superior fighting skills, making this matchup both intriguing and well-deserved.
The way he's treating him, I think he should be fighting with Topuria, because if you see this is a sport, I think he should be the #1 contender. I think he should fight for the belt against Elias Topuria.
Oh wow, okay.
But I think Charles Oliveira got a lot more charisma than him. I think Charles got a lot more followers. I think people like Charles a lot better than him, so that's why Charles is fighting for the belt.
On the other hand, Joe Rogan has backed Ilia Topuria against Charles Oliveira, stating that Topuria has superior striking and overall fighting skills. He described Ilia as a serious threat, claiming he may be too dangerous for Oliveira, while acknowledging that Ilia holding the belt might not yet boost pay-per-view numbers significantly. Rogan remains confident in his prediction that Topuria will pose a major challenge for Charles.
But I like what you were saying, Topuria versus Oliveira. Oliveira.
Your first introduction at 55. He's kind of the,
Oliveira
king
so
of 55
tall
and dangerous.
So dangerous everywhere. Dangerous striking. Huge reach advantage.
Yeah. But if you're Topuria, you're not going to go up to 55 without some sort of guarantee. Because remember, he's giving up the belt, so he's not getting pay-per-view points.
But it's his idea.
Well, because the weight cut's too tough.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
At the same time, Ilia Topuria took a direct shot at Charles Oliveira with a blunt statement. He asserted that Oliveira shouldn't be seen as unbeatable, pointing out his 10 career losses. Topuria claimed that facing Charles would be an easy fight, saying he wouldn't even need to kill him in the cage, because in his view, Oliveira would lie himself out on the ground.
Charles Oliveira, even this is what I was telling you before, like, when you got 10 losses in your record, that's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 10.
Yeah.
Like, when you walk in with a guy that has 10 losses, the level of confidence is completely different. It's completely different than when you walk in with a guy that it's undefeated.
Right.
He's a dangerous guy in the striking, in the ground game, everywhere you look at him, he's a dangerous guy. He never takes a lose. That's a different mentality. You gotta have to kill him to give up. He's not gonna even give up. You gotta have to kill him. In the case of Charles, if he finds some adversity, he's gonna go.
Furthermore, Ilia Topuria mocked Charles Oliveira's fighting skills, claiming that when they face off, Charles will end up lying down, waiting for him to finish the fight. He added that this would be a clear sign of how easy it will be to knock Oliveira out.
To the ground, he's gonna sit and he's gonna be waiting like till you end up the fight.
Meanwhile, Charles Oliveira responded by saying he has great respect not only for Ilia Topuria, but for every fighter. However, he noted that Topuria is making things personal with his comments and disrespectful behavior. Oliveira added that because of this, he's more motivated than ever to smash Topuria, emphasizing that this kind of conduct is not the right or ethical way to approach a fight.
Can I ask you, when we said that you were coming on the show, a lot of the fans were asking us about this photo of you at UFC 312 in Sydney just a month and a half or so ago. You and Alex Volkanovski and Uriah Faber, and there's Ilia right next to you. So it seemed like you guys have always had a pretty good relationship, right? Does that make the recent comments a bit surprising to you?
He saw me there. He treated me very well, respectfully, as I did, towards him as well. And as I treat everybody, respectfully. And if he's gonna come out saying different things here, just trying to dig out a fight, I don't think that's the way to do it. But everybody's got a different way of doing things, so that's just not my way. I'm here respectful of everyone, really.
Responding to Charles Oliveira, Ilia Topuria fired back with a serious jab, reminding him that he still has to pay the price for his failed fight with Islam Makhachev. Topuria warned that he's going to deliver a brutal beating, adding sarcastically that he'll try to make it as painless as possible, because despite everything, he actually likes Charles.
Bueno, en primer lugar agradecerle a Charles, la verdad, por haber aceptado el reto, ¿no? Algo que Islam no hizo. Y tiene que pagar el precio por Islam. La verdad, me da mucha pena por Charles, pero bueno, al final del día es mi trabajo.
Charles Oliveira tiene el mayor número de sumisiones en la UFC. Dijiste que querías someter a Makhachev, no sé si quieres doblar la apuesta con Oliveira y someterlo.
No sé, con Oliveira la verdad que lo que sea menos doloroso para él, eso es lo que haré porque me cae muy bien.
In the lead up to what promises to be one of the most anticipated lightweight clashes, Ilia Topuria took to Twitter to send a bold message to Charles Oliveira. Riding high on momentum and still undefeated, Topuria didn't hold back in expressing his confidence ahead of their scheduled fight. Aiming to make a statement not just to Oliveira but to the entire division, he shared, "On June 28th, another dream will come true. I'll be the champion of the lightweight division. Charles, my apologies in advance. I'm just fighting for my dreams. It's unfortunate that Makhachev ran away, 17-0. Responding to the tweet, Charles Oliveira acknowledged that he respects Ilia Topuria's dreams, as every fighter has the right to chase their goals. However, he pointed out that many fighters talk confidently before facing him, until they step into the cage and everything changes. Oliveira made it clear that all of Topuria's claims will be answered in the octagon, sending a strong message that he plans to address every comment with his performance on fight night.
Put out a statement apologizing to you. He said, "Charles, I'm sorry. I'm fighting for my dreams." Do you remember what he said?
Ele falou alguma coisa na rede social, tipo, pedindo desculpa pra você, pedindo desculpa que vai ter que fazer o que ele tem que fazer, mas ele tá lutando pelos sonhos dele.
Cara, na realidade, a gente já estamos lá dentro, vai fazer 15 anos, né? Eu já vi muitos desses caras que falaram muita coisa, que eu desisto, que eu vou perder, que vai me nocautear, que vai finalizar, e aí chega na hora e eles não fazem nada. Então, como eu falei, eu respeito todos eles. Esse é mais um cara que eu respeito, mas do mesmo jeito que ele tem sonhos, também tenho sonhos, tenho promessas, então...
Sending a serious warning to Ilia Topuria, Charles stated that he has nothing to prove to anyone, pointing to his extensive skill set and accomplished fight resume. He acknowledged this upcoming bout as a valuable opportunity, but made it clear that he plans to knock Topuria out. Oliveira emphasized that this isn't just talk. His warning is real.
Essa outra chegou na oportunidade gigantesca, eu vou nocautear esse cara, essa é real.
But he's gonna knock this guy out.
Additionally, Charles Oliveira stated that he doesn't pay much attention to comments or what people say about him. He emphasized that his focus is fully on the June 28th fight and dismissed the noise surrounding it. Addressing Ilia Topuria's remarks about dominating the lightweight division, one of the toughest in the sport, Oliveira reminded fans of his past performances. Recalling his bout with Justin Gaethje, he noted that despite people saying Gaethje hits the hardest, it was Gaethje who went down once they stepped into the cage.
Eu não fico olhando muito os comentários, Vitória que fica olhando as coisas, fica olhando um monte de coisa, falando, gosta de falar as coisas.
So he doesn't read the comments too much, he does more.
Eu não ligo muito porque as pessoas falam ali, na realidade essa é real, né? Eu sei que ele é um cara que ele pega duro, mas tá falando da categoria de pesos leves, categoria mais difícil. Eu lutei contra o Gate e todo mundo falava que ele era o cara que batia mais duro e quando eu bati ele dobrou, então eu acredito no poder de fogo na mão que eu tenho, então vamos esperar, dia 28 a gente vai se encontrar.
28th, we'll see what's gonna happen.
Meanwhile, despite the ongoing back and forth, Ilia Topuria remains focused. While he holds a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and has multiple submission victories, it's his striking that continues to captivate fans and analysts alike. 5 of his 8 UFC wins have come by knockout or TKO thanks to his exceptional timing, precision, and calm under pressure. Topuria throws with clear intent, blending sharp body shots with clean, powerful combinations to the head, rarely wasting a single strike. At the same time, Charles Oliveira is looking sharp and dangerous as he fine-tunes his striking ahead of his showdown with Ilia Topuria. Known for his elite jiu-jitsu, it's Oliveira's crisp stand-up game that's catching attention this time. Fluid combos, slick movement, and laser-focused precision. With each training session, Bronx is reminding fans that he's not just a submission artist, he's a complete fighter, and he's coming for Topuria with everything he's got. Moving on, while Charles Oliveira has raised concerns about Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight to face him, Justin Gaethje sees it differently. Gaethje praised Topuria's impressive performance in the featherweight division, particularly his dominant win over Max Holloway, and acknowledged his confidence and ability to move up as a positive step.
There's just no way to say. I think him being a featherweight coming up to lightweight is not a factor. I think we saw that with Max Holloway. The only guy that put me to sleep was a featherweight, so that shit don't work. It's crazy. It's a crazy game. I think the confidence that he has right now is probably the what he's got going for him the most. I think his ability to stay in position and create leverage and power in his shots and move forward. He moves forward in great position. I think that, like I said earlier, all the champions are moving forward, for a significant amount of time. So I think he's a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely. He's very dangerous, very confident, and we'll see how it goes. Styles make matchups. We'll see what kind of matchup he gets.
Meanwhile, Demetrius Johnson and MMA Guru also shared their thoughts on the upcoming matchup. MMA Guru noted that beyond the star power of the two fighters, what makes this bout even more fascinating is that it's for the lightweight title, especially with someone like Ilia Topuria, who's relatively small for the division, stepping in. Demetrius Johnson, however, expressed confidence in Topuria's abilities, stating that he believes Ilia can perform well at lightweight despite the size difference.
I think that there's a theory about, if there's a belt on the line, it's much bigger.
Yeah.
But people just love the two names. Don't always have to be a belt on the line. They do this with a BMF belt. But if Ilia Topuria fights Charles Oliveira on a pay-per-view, that's a big deal.
Oh, it's going to be a banger fight.
They don't need to wait for an interim belt. They don't need to wait for an undisputed. So, yeah. I don't know how he's going to do it lightweight, though. Maybe you can speak on that. He's a smaller guy coming up.
It's a smaller coming up. It'll be interesting because he is bigger from when I heard him on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like 191, I think he was walking around. It's massive. So for him to cut to 145, it just seems almost like, how did he do that? But now that he's going up to 155, I always like when athletes go up.
Backing Demetrius Johnson's stance, MMA Guru also pointed out that Ilia Topuria has a real chance to beat Charles Oliveira, especially considering he knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, a feat that speaks volumes about his power and precision. Meanwhile, Demetrius Johnson added that fighters who move up in weight often perform well, citing past examples from MMA history to support the idea that Topuria's transition to lightweight could be a successful one.
But I think he's going to look good at 155. I think he's going to have to deal with, people look good when they fight people who are there in the same size. I'll never forget Frankie Edgar, when he started fighting guys at 135, he was like, I'm not taking as much damage. I can actually take more damage. When he started fighting 55ers, he goes, you guys are like 170, 175.
Yeah.
So it almost kind of evens the play. So would he still have that power at 155? Right? That's the thing we're going to have to find out. I'm sure he will, but he'll have the power, but I'm sure the 155ers frame will be able to take it more than a 145er kid.
Yeah. I think Ilia Topuria, though, and this is why I think he may have messed up, but I think he's in a position where the next fight has to be bigger for him. Because he's just knocked out Volkanovski and Holloway back to back.
Yeah.
Reflecting on Ilia Topuria's knockouts of Volkanovski and Max Holloway, MMA Guru pointed out that Ilia is now at a point in his career where he's ready to take on the toughest challenge yet. He noted that Topuria has built a strong following and draws significant pay-per-view attention thanks to his rising stardom. The Guru emphasized that Ilia has become a name to reckon with, always seeking out the hardest competition. He added that the matchup with Charles Oliveira is perfectly suited to the level of competition Ilia is prepared for.
And he was probably looking at, should I fight Volk again? I can't do it better.
Yeah.
So now he's sort of glory hunting. He's stuck to a level of competition that matches the level that he brings into the cage. There's no he's now in a no gimme fight.
Yeah.
You know?
It's always gonna be the hardest fight
Yeah.
next. If he was to fight Islam and beat Islam, it's like,
yeah,
who? It's gonna have to be Armin Sarukian, someone who
Yeah.
hasn't lost yet. I mean, he's lost to Islam, but it's gonna have to be a big fight. With that mindset, like when we talk about that, he's a guy who's not gonna be in his sport for a very long time.
No, I think he'll be gone after another 2.
You think another 2?
Another 2, 3. If he loses, he might think,
oh, I gotta do 2 more.
Yeah, because he's such a name now in Spain, and he's a big followed guy. He got loads of views on JRE. But the thing about Ilia is, normally with him,
Kamaru Usman also backed Ilia Topuria, highlighting that he not only damages his opponents, but also effectively breaks them down with attacks ranging from the body to the head. He went on to acknowledge that while Charles Oliveira is a skilled fighter, Ilia is exceptional, and Usman clearly sees him beating Oliveira in their upcoming matchup.
100%. This is exactly how I feel. Exactly how I feel. Yes, I do believe Ilia Topuria can win that fight. You see it. Charles Oliveira gets hurt in a lot of fights, and he gets dropped in a lot of fights. And so now you throw in a guy like Ilia that doesn't just hurt you, he will get you out of there, that mixes up the attack, goes to the body, goes to the head. I think Ilia is the favorite in that fight. Taking nothing away from Charles Oliveira. Charles is very, very dangerous, and Charles is very, very good. But I think Ilia is a favorite in that fight, and I think 100% he goes out there and he gets through Charles Oliveira. You 100%, he's next for that.
Alongside this, Kamaru noted that Ilia has fought Alexander Volkanovski twice and faced criticism for it, but he finds that hilarious. He added that Ilia has the ultimate game plan to beat Charles Oliveira, who holds the most submission records in MMA.
He fought Volkanovski twice because really there wasn't a clear-cut guy to go in there and fight him. And so people do give him shit for that. Oh, you fought the same guy twice, blah, blah, blah. So, hey, if Ilia is able to go in there and get past Charles Oliveira, I mean, Charles is has mostly almost all the records in that division.
Echoing the same opinion, Ali Abdelaziz also backed Ilia Topuria to beat Charles Oliveira. Meanwhile, he raised some concerns, noting that MMA is unpredictable and anything can happen. He pointed to Ilia's past fights where he was nearly knocked out, but praised his brutal performances against Volkanovski and Max Holloway, highlighting that Ilia is a tremendous threat going into the fight with Charles.
Yeah, I think he will knock Charles out. I do. Stylistically, I think he'll beat Charles. But you never know. He almost lost Jay Herbert. Almost got knocked out by Jay Herbert. Like, MMA is crazy. You know, he win 5.
Fight is wild. Yeah.
He win 5 rounds. What's his name? 3 round Yusuf Belal. He win 5 rounds. What's his name? The guy from Alpha Man, Josh Emmett. You know. But in a way, like, if you think if Islam fighting these guys will go to 5 rounds, Islam or 3 rounds? Of course not.
I think it's also because, it's impressive that he was able to finish Volkanovski and Max the way that he did. Right, and I think that's why the people not impressed.
Acknowledging Ilia Topuria's impressive fighting skills, Ali Abdelaziz pointed out that one of his biggest strengths is his ability to market himself effectively. He noted that Ilia's future holds the promise of a great legacy and remarkable achievements in the sport.
He's an amazing fighter. He have dynamite in both hands. He can grapple. He can wrestle. He's a great. If I didn't say that, I would be lying. Ilia Topuria is a great fighter, and I think he will make his legacy. When he defends his title 4 times, he can start talking like Islam. Islam don't even talk, But he's talking like he defended his title 5 rounds. And guess what? I guess the day is an age we live in, and this is how you become more marketable. And I'm not saying he's not going to defend his title 4 times, maybe 10 times, But let's see what happens.
The buildup between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira has been intense, with both fighters trading bold claims and showing unwavering confidence. Experts and MMA analysts have weighed in, largely backing Ilia's striking power and strategic mindset, while also acknowledging Charles's elite skills and submission threat. Predictions are split, but one thing's clear: this matchup promises fireworks and high-level competition that could shake up the lightweight division. Make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for all the latest updates. This is a fight you won't want to miss.